What if I told you the secret to making women chase you had nothing to do with looks, charm, or even how hard you try? It's a thought that might sound impossible. Men have been told for centuries that attraction is a game of showing more, giving more, trying harder. The truth is more uncomfortable than we'd like to admit. Women don't chase what's easy. They chase what they can't fully have. You've probably been there before. A woman who's always available, always responsive, always there when you need her. She's sweet, she's kind, but the connection, it starts to fade. Why? Because something is missing. It's the chase. Now picture a woman who seems to pull back a little. She's there when it counts, but there's always a bit of mystery about her. You don't always know what she's thinking. You don't always know where she stands, and that leaves you wondering, intrigued. This is the power women have always held over men, the power of perception. It's not what they do, it's what they withhold. It's not about what they give, it's about how they make you feel. And that feeling is what drives attraction. Think about it. You've likely been drawn to someone who wasn't constantly chasing your attention, right? Someone who didn't need to win you over with words or gestures, but simply stood their ground, leaving you wanting more. Now let's dig deeper. The question isn't just why women chase men. The real question is, why do men think they control attraction when, in reality, it's the women who are controlling the game all along? We're about to reveal the secret psychology behind attraction and the game-changing truth that could shift your perspective completely. You've heard it time and time again. Be yourself, show you care, make her feel special. But here's the secret. No one tells you women are not drawn to men who try too hard. Instead, they are drawn to something deeper, something almost uncontrollable. The truth is simple, yet unsettling. Women are drawn to what they can't fully have. It's the mystery, the challenge, the scarcity. These psychological factors make them feel a level of desire that effort alone never will. Let's break it down. At the heart of psychological attraction is a concept called reactance. Reactance is a theory from social psychology that explains how people want something more when they feel it's being withheld. And this is where women gain their power. When they hold back, even just a little, it creates a psychological gap. The mind fills that gap with desire. Think of it like this. When a woman's attention is too easy to obtain, it becomes less valuable. Think of it like this. When a woman's attention is too easy to obtain, it becomes less valuable. It's not scarcity, it's about what a man can't easily possess. When things are too available, they're taken for granted. But when they're rare or elusive, they become precious. This concept is everywhere in dating, in relationships, and even in marketing. Have you ever noticed how women's Instagram feeds often feel like a glimpse of a life, not the entire picture? That's because mystery creates intrigue. You see just enough to want more, but not everything that satisfies you. And when women use this in dating or relationships, they subconsciously become more irresistible. But it's not just about playing games. It's about creating a sense of value through emotional distance and mystery. When a man can't easily read a woman when she doesn't wear all her cards on her sleeve, she becomes an enigma. And the more men try to decode her, the deeper they fall into the chase. They're not just pursuing her, they're pursuing what she makes them feel: curious, invested, uncertain. Now let's take this a step further. What does this all mean for men? It means that trying harder, giving more, and always being available doesn't make you more attractive. It makes you more predictable. Predictability kills desire. The key to making her chase you isn't about chasing her more. It's about giving her space to desire. Think of the quiet, confident man. He doesn't try to be the loudest in the room. He doesn't overextend himself. His actions speak louder than his words, and he knows when to show up and when to step back. He doesn't give too much. He keeps things just out of reach. This is the power of mystery, and it's this very mystery that makes women want to chase. When they can't fully possess you, when they can't figure you out completely, the chase becomes more than just attraction, it becomes a need. What is it about confidence that draws women in? Is it the loud, charismatic man who dominates every conversation? Or is it something else, something deeper, more subtle? The truth is, true confidence is not about being the loudest in the room. It's not about constantly needing to be the center of attention. Real confidence is silent. It's unshakable. It's unbothered by external noise or opinions. Now imagine this: a woman walks into a room, and there's a man who isn't the tallest, the most charismatic, or even the most outwardly charming. But there's something about him, a calm assurance in the way he carries himself, a quiet strength that makes him magnetic. He doesn't need to announce his presence. He doesn't need to speak constantly. His confidence speaks through his actions, his silence, and his ability to be comfortable in any situation. This is what women are drawn to: unspoken confidence. It's the power of knowing who you are without needing validation from anyone. It's not about performing, it's about being. The man who doesn't chase approval, but instead commands respect simply by how he exists, exudes a form of power that no amount of charm or external validation can replicate. Here's the secret. Confidence is attractive because it signals security. A man who can maintain his composure, remain steady under pressure, and hold his ground in any situation becomes a rock for those around him. Women especially are instinctively drawn to this because it represents stability, and stability is one of the most powerful forces in attraction. It says, I can handle life's challenges. I am strong, and I will protect what matters. This idea doesn't just come from theories of attraction. It's rooted in psychological survival instincts. In relationships, a woman seeks security. She may not articulate it directly, but she is looking for someone who has control over their emotions, who can navigate chaos without being shaken. It's in the way you respond to stress, how you handle life's ups and downs. When everything else falls apart, the man who remains calm and composed, the one who doesn't need to react to every situation, stands out. This is the power of emotional control, not suppression, but the ability to choose when to reveal vulnerability and when to hold it back. In contrast, men who overreact, chase validation, or feel the need to constantly perform are often seen as insecure. This insecurity leaks through everything they do. Women can sense it, and it creates repulsion, not attraction. The lack of confidence makes them appear fragile, and women, consciously or unconsciously, are not drawn to fragility. So what does this mean? Confidence is the foundation upon which attraction is built. True confidence doesn't need to prove itself, it simply exists. It's quiet yet magnetic. It's unspoken yet felt. And women are instinctively drawn to men who possess it because it gives them the sense of safety they crave. The most powerful thing you can do to attract women is to own your space. Don't chase their attention. Don't beg for validation. Simply stand tall in your own worth. When you do that, the world and the women in it will chase you. You've seen it countless times. A woman is drawn to a man who doesn't reveal everything about himself right away. There's an intrigue, a curiosity, a question she can't quite answer. Why does she keep coming back? The answer is simple. Mystery creates desire. This isn't just about playing games. It's not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about leaving something unsaid, something unexplored, that makes a woman want to discover more. When you're too available, too easy to understand, the attraction begins to fade. But when you withhold just a little, when you leave her guessing, even if just for a moment you spark a fire inside her, she wants to know more. This is the principle of scarcity in action. It's the same psychological principle that marketers use to get you to buy limited edition items. The more unavailable something is, the more valuable it seems. The mysterious man doesn't lay all his cards on the table. He leaves a few pieces of himself hidden, enough for her to fill in the gaps with her own curiosity. The moment she's forced to fill in the blanks, she's invested. Her mind starts to work overtime, trying to figure out who he really is. And the more she wonders, the more she desires to know. It's not about playing hard to get or being emotionally distant. It's about maintaining the right level of intrigue. The key is to reveal just enough, but not everything. Give her a taste, but don't serve the whole meal. Think about how mysterious people are often the most attractive. It's because they make others feel that they have something worth discovering. Women are wired to be curious, to wonder about what they don't fully understand. When a man shows up, not with everything laid out, but with enough complexity that he remains an enigma, the chase becomes a game worth playing. Look at dating apps, for example. The profiles that stand out are often the ones that have just enough hint of personality, but not too much. They leave enough room for curiosity, enough space for the imagination to run wild. This is the secret: you don't need to share every detail of your life. In fact, the less you give away, the more captivating you become. Women don't want to know everything up front. They want to discover it. Mystery makes them feel like they're uncovering something worth having. This principle applies in real relationships too. Think about the man who reveals everything too quickly: his fears, his dreams, his vulnerabilities, all in the first few weeks of dating. What does he do? He creates predictability. She can guess his next move. She can see the whole picture. And with that, the magic starts to fade. Attraction weakens. Now think about the man who takes his time, who shares just enough to pique interest but holds back enough to make her wonder. The more she has to work to uncover him, the more she becomes invested in the pursuit. And the more invested she is, the more likely she is to stay. Mystery is a form of power. It's the subtle art of not giving too much, too soon. It keeps the attraction alive. The more a woman has to chase, the more she values the connection, because it feels like something earned, not easily attained. The power of mystery is all about balance. It's not about being closed off or emotionally unavailable. It's about keeping her on her toes, giving just enough to keep her intrigued, but leaving plenty to the imagination. When done right, it creates an emotional tension that fuels desire. When a man masters the art of mystery, he doesn't need to work hard to keep a woman's attention. He only needs to be himself, but the version of himself that is complex enough to keep her guessing. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Being emotionally available all the time doesn't make you more attractive. It makes you predictable. Predictability kills desire. We've all heard the advice: be open, be honest, show your feelings. But what if I told you that showing your emotions too soon or too frequently could actually make you less appealing? The truth is, women are drawn to men who create emotional tension, not men who give it all away. In relationships, emotional distance is the secret weapon. But let me be clear, this doesn't mean you should play games or be emotionally unavailable. It means you need to create space for attraction to grow. You must learn how to manage emotional availability with the right balance of emotional distance. Think about the dynamics of dating. Men who are overly available, the ones who text back immediately, always agree to plans, and give their attention at the drop of a hat, are often seen as predictable. There's no challenge. There's no mystery. The tension that makes the chase so exciting is gone. Contrast that with the man who doesn't always answer immediately, who sets boundaries and creates space. Suddenly, he's less predictable. Women are left wondering, thinking about him more than they normally would. Why? Because emotional distance triggers curiosity. It makes her wonder what you're thinking, what you're doing, and most importantly, it keeps her interested. This is psychological reactance at play. People, not just women, are naturally drawn to things they can't easily obtain. When something feels too accessible, we stop valuing it as much. The moment it feels scarce, it becomes desirable again. The same principle applies to emotional availability. When you create space, you give her room to miss you, to crave you, to want to be closer. The key is balance. You must be emotionally present when it matters, but you also need to know when to pull back. The man who does this doesn't chase. He lets the attraction come to him. The tension between being emotionally available and distant is what keeps the relationship dynamic, exciting, and most importantly, healthy. Men who give everything away too early often find themselves in relationships where the attraction fades fast. The woman feels like she knows everything about him, and the mystery vanishes. The emotional intensity dies. But when there's space, when there's a sense of mystery, when there's a little bit of emotional unpredictability, the attraction builds. It grows in the spaces between. Now let's tie it all together. All the mystery, all the emotional control, the perception, the emotional distance. It's all pointing to the same thing: becoming the kind of man who commands attention effortlessly. Here's the truth. Women don't chase men who are predictable. They don't chase the ones who are always available, always trying to please, always needing validation. They chase the ones who make them feel something deeper, the ones who leave them wondering, the ones who know how to be emotionally available when it counts, but not overly available all the time. The ones who understand the subtle power of mystery, emotional space, and self-respect. But this isn't just about creating attraction, it's about becoming someone who doesn't need to chase at all. When you've mastered the art of perception, when you've harnessed the power of emotional control, when you create space for desire to build, you don't have to work for attention. It comes to you. You must own your value without needing to prove it. Stop over-explaining, stop overcompensating, and stop trying to force things. The man who commands attention is the one who isn't desperate for it. He knows his worth and doesn't feel the need to chase after anyone to validate it. He lets his presence speak for itself. What makes a man truly magnetic is not what he does, but how he makes others feel. When you control your perception, when you withhold just enough to make others want more, you become irresistible. And here's the best part. You don't have to manipulate. It's not about tricks or games. It's about being authentically you, but being the version of you that knows how to protect your own mystery and value. This is the art of attraction. It's subtle, it's psychological, and it works. So ask yourself, are you the one who chases, or are you the one who is chased? The power lies in your ability to step back, maintain emotional control, and create an aura that others can't help but be drawn to. It's time to stop chasing and start being the one worth chasing. Now that you understand the secret psychology behind attraction, it's time to put it into practice. Stop chasing, stop overthinking, and start commanding attention. Comment below, what part of this power dynamic have you seen play out in your own life? Which principle will you start applying today? If you found this insight helpful, hit like and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden laws of attraction, influence, and human behavior. Stay tuned for the next video because the truth isn't just about how others perceive you, it's about how you perceive yourself.